Here he is.
Hey.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
So what's going on?
Oh no, you tell us. We got some questions for you, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise you guys up a little bit. All right. Cool. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Go ahead. I guess.
All right. So we're recording this now. So the plan, John, is that we're gonna hopefully post the whole thing on our YouTube channel in the studio, and then tomorrow on Friday we're gonna try and post snippets of our conversation just on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, just to start doing a bit of a Faculty Friday thing. So
Cool.
you are our first faculty member to get to do this with us. So
Yeah, it's kind of just meet the rest of the percussion studio faculty. Really, Kilkenny is kind of the face of George Mason, things like that. And personally, I didn't know any of you coming into this school. So this is more of a transparent way for potential students to get involved with the Mason community. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, even though John's face is so wonderful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
We need that face.
Yeah, we need the blue eyes and everything.
I have blue eyes.
All right, even better. Here we go.
all right, cool. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and start talking about some stuff. So
Are you guys in the same room?
Yeah,
we live in the same
doesn't
house.
it look
Yeah.
like
It looks like some sort of it looks like some sort of what's the he's I'm so embarrassed I can't. He did the movie maker he's like he's a New York Jewish man, and he does all these great like comic movies that are based out of New York. And his Woody Allen, and he looks like it looks like a Woody Allen movie, like how they make it seem like it's two rooms, but it's really one.
Yeah, this is actually pretty weird. That wall has never been, I don't think we've ever had the camera like this before.
It looks like you guys are like a fool the eye right here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We can't unsee that now.
Yeah, I can't see it either. I'm just embarrassed that it took me so long to think of Woody Allen's name.
No, it's fine. I think he was canceled a couple years ago anyway, so who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so you could keep all that.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just kind of we have some questions in mind, some topics, but we can really just let this flow however you see fit, and we'll take it wherever. So we'll just start talking about the work that you do when you're not at Mason. So talk to us about what you do outside being a Mason adjunct.
My work is primarily through the United States Marine Band, where this past May I've been a member of the band for 16 years. And as a member of that band, we perform a whole slew of different jobs, which I love as a percussionist, because we perform some work that's incredibly current, such as performing works by new wind ensemble repertoire. We have a chamber orchestra, so we get to perform with them. We also have an awesome chamber music series that I'm heavily involved in. It's kind of one of my huge tasks that I love to kind of explore with my colleagues every year. And it's something that people don't always think about with the Marine Band, like how active we could be in chamber music. So it's really hit. But then on the other side of it, we have a lot of ceremonial responsibilities, which range from performing at the White House to performing at Arlington National Cemetery to doing other, we have groups that play at the State Department or at the Capitol or wherever we're needed to be. So one of the things, and I was actually just talking with our director about this the other day, one of the things that I think is also getting us through this COVID time period right now is how versatile our musicians really are. And I think that really speaks to us as percussionists as well. Like if we're not versatile, what are we, And so it's really kind of played into the strength that when I was an undergrad, being versatile was everything. And playing orchestral music and chamber music and world music and jazz and everything, you didn't get to say no. And the band is kind of like that, So it's helped me explore lots of really fun avenues in performing in the band, where people would say, well, wait, it's just a military band. It's like, yeah, there are days that it feels like just a military band, but even then, like, we're playing on like really cool old fashioned rope tension drums, which is super hip, that kind of gets to the janissary reason of why percussionists even exist. It's like military musician plays a drum like this, and we get to do that, often. So kind of get to our roots as a percussionist, but then also get to explore um, our contemporary needs as a percussionist as well.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a specific performance, I guess, that you've experienced over the past 16 years that has stood out the most?
That's a great question. Yes, the short answer to that is yes.
Cool.
Okay, the very short answer to that is yes. The first time I played in Benaroya Hall in Seattle with the Marine Band on tour, that was awesome. It was also awesome because my wife was there in the audience, so it was sort of like, I was, it's like, hey, this job, it's like a big boy job, and there's my wife in this hall, and there's 3,000 people, and that was a very cool experience. I also got to play in Symphony Hall, which I saw, with the Marine Band, which was huge because I have seen many concerts with the Boston Symphony on that stage. So that was a great concert to play on tour as well. So that, yeah, those two stick out, but also I've had the pleasure of soloing twice at Wolf Trap with the band. So that's a very bizarre and awesome and scary and terrifying and awesome and terrifying experience to like walk out and play a million xylophone notes for 5,000 people. But that was very memorable. I've gotten to be a soloist on tour twice. I remember, Mike, you got me thinking. I remember that the last time I soloed with the band was outside of Philly, and I played a rag, and then I finished it with an encore where I played some jazz vibes, and I played When You Wish Upon a Star, which I picked very specifically because it's like all we have in this field is to wish, and that wish never ends. And I don't mean to be too philosophical, but that doesn't matter where we are in our career. It's like you just keep on wishing, gosh, I'd really want to play that piece or collaborate with that composer. And then the next thing you know, because of your ideas, you're doing it, Yeah. So I picked that piece, but I remember I ended it really slow. And then I just held it for a moment, trying to sort of soak up this reality that this could be the last time that I'm ever soloing in front of the Marine Band. And big house was filled and nice reception, but just like that quiet in the hall of me just freezing there for an unacceptably long period of time. That was a cool experience to just feel that quiet in a hall of 3,000 people. That was pretty cool. So nice little range. Mm-hmm. But like also like playing inauguration for Obama was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be a forever highlight.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. So on the ceremonial side, that was awesome. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you play in a percussion ensemble for the Marine Band too, and just recently you had a concert in the past few weeks. You mind talking about that a little bit?
So that concert came out of kind of our COVID reality, and it came from our directors that we needed, people to sort of spearhead these chamber music programs. And I'm really fortunate to work with 11 other players that in my direct section that are, for the most part, really into chamber music, and crashing heads with them about ideas and current composers or classic composers, pieces we should play, pieces that would be cool to see the Marine Band play, instruments to see the Marine Band play. Mm-hmm. So it was just sort of like a catch-all program, and it was in response of, like, we were actually supposed to do it in April, and then that got canned because, well, it was April, and yeah, and now so we had that opportunity in August, and it was really great I got to play some rags, one rag that I wrote, one rag that I arranged, but then we also got to play some pieces that I never played before by composers that I never heard of before, like L.A. Cooper Cole's Postludes. We got to play a couple of movements out of that, which was super hip, and you guys should like play that in some dark church someplace in DC, like the whole thing.
Yeah,
that'd be so cool.
I actually got to perform that in my master's degree just the first movement or whatever with the bows and stuff. But
Yeah.
super nice composer, super friendly with everything. Like,
Oh yeah.
here are all of my scores. Like, you're a percussionist. That's super cool. So,
Yeah. Wait, he's a percussionist?
yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I need to know more about him. One of our new guys knew him, and actually, I think played that at. Oh my God, my brain is going. What's the thing that Doug Perkins used to do but doesn't do anymore? The summer thing.
Oh.
This is
Chosen Vale.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah, this
I
is
think
public.
but yeah.
You have fine answers out of the air.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in one conversation, we've talked about Woody Allen and Doug Perkins. So, hey, there you go.
Full circle.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that, so it was nice to have that. And also the arrangement, you guys did a really pretty arrangement of a Bach movements of a partita that I never heard of before, kind of a mashup. So it came about that we needed a recital. We needed to put something out there to our online audience. And, it's kind of like you guys. It's like, you crash head and you come up with a cool performance. And
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was very, very well diverse, and I think it really showcased the core repertoire of percussion in general in just an hour and 15 minutes, however long the performance was. We had this conversation in studio class, not this past week, but the week before that, about the core rep and what we should be studying as percussionists, and then what to branch out to. So I think your concert in late August really kind of showcased the core rep of being a percussionist and the versatility that we need to be as percussionists.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that when you start talking about programming, a lot of people start talking about the composer or the piece that the composer wrote.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to look at programming in another way. It's like, what is being said by our instruments? And then what can we be learning from that?
Exactly.
So you look at something and as opposed to like, oh, well, we look at it like this with recital program. Well, I already have a marimba piece. I already have a setup piece. It's like, that doesn't matter. Do both of those pieces say something different? Are they communicating something different? So if you look at something like that, I think that's another kind of seasoning to what ends up being some sort of plate of repertoire that could end up being really, really good. I do have to say, in sort of self-criticizing the program that I built there, I needed to make that program more diverse, and I didn't, and that's on me.
Are you talking about piece-wise or composer-wise?
Composer-wise.
Okay.
BIPOC, female. There's such great music being written right now that is able to pair so well with our classic repertoire. So you could have that classic repertoire, feed off of that, but then also see how composers have based their current works off of those older works.
The evolution basically of percussion music.
Yes, exactly. And I think that we're lucky as percussionists that we've had lots of BIPOC composers, female composers that are writing just extraordinary repertoire for us. And sometimes I think that we need to consider how to pair that better in our programs. And that's something I could have done, I think, a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it's just come to the forefront, especially this past year with everything going on in the world and especially this country specifically. Just, I think a lot of people are trying to branch out, and there is a document going around, an Excel spreadsheet with specifically African-American composers and things like that. So I think that's a good start, but I don't think it should be the end all to be all. I think that list should continue to be added to and develop into something that a lot of collegiate programs, but also just, if you're going to play a recital, like, all right, take a couple pieces from this and see how it translates from the older rep, like Cage or Bach or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. But, and I also think that, because I also have something working that is going to be coming out soon of involving, because I think it's great to talk about the composers, and I think it's great to talk about the music. But we also have to talk about the performers and making sure that when we go to concerts, we're seeing diverse performers. And, you know, because people always talk about what's the sustainability factor of our field? And it's like, well, our sustainability factor is as good as the people that are young in the field right now.
Yep.
Okay. That was me. It's now you, you know, and I feel that as much of a variety of a person that we could have, it is going to raise the C for all of us. It is going to make us better. It's going to make us sharper. It's going to make us more well-funded. It's going to give us better audiences. It's going to give us better repertoire choices. And that's in the people, you know. I think chamber music has done this better than orchestral music. And I think that orchestral music has a lot to work on with this. But this is definitely something that I know I'm personally working on with some friends of, you know, and soon to be released, but of like, we won't have a sustainability problem if we involve more people.
That's it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. End of sentence. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, and you could even take it to an economic way and a non-percussive way. It's the former chair of the Fed, Janet Yellen, said, if you want the economy to do better, pay women what you pay men.
That's it.
It's actually really simple. And she's like looking at these numbers, and it's something my wife and I talk about all the time. It's like, you want the economy be better, just pay them what you pay women what you pay men. You'll be fine. It's that simple.
Yep.
So there's some sort of repression that's happening that is up to us to be able to bring this to the light and to make sure that people are getting equal chances and have talent prevail. We're not looking to have talent not prevail, but we're you know, it's give people the opportunity to have the talent, like people have given us the opportunity to have the talent, you know.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Inclusion. That's the entire name of the game at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm kind of see if we can steer this from like in general performance, like in light of COVID and the next what's happened to university studies. So talking about percussion curriculum and studies, where do you see it heading in the next few years or so in light of this pandemic, like studying percussion?
Yeah. Where do I want to see it?
I know it's a lot.
No, that's a lot. And that's a really good question. And I don't know if I have a great answer for that question. Here's what I want to happen.
Perfect.
Or maybe here's what I want to happen. What I love is that music and accessibility has really pushed online. So there's an accessibility where everybody is able to partake in a way that maybe they didn't necessarily have the same brand of access to before. And that's because all playing professionals right now are looking for contact. Their ensembles have basically stopped. Their schools have slowed, if they taught at all. You know, some of them are in a lot of trouble right now. And that'll, like, the net will come back. You know, it's like that will come back for some. Here's what I have to make sure still happens is that we have to make sure that the people that are teaching younger generations are properly qualified to teach younger generations. And just because now school could be too expensive or school could be too bureaucratic, we could fix that. But I want to make sure that if my daughter is playing piano and when she comes time to go to college, that there isn't a choice for Megan and I to say, should we send her to college or should we just have her take online lessons with so-and-so who's never really had a career, who's never passed, you know, a committee to get hired at a university, who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that person qualified? Maybe.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. But there still has to be a bar for professionals to reach that gives them the wherewithal and the access to universities and sponsorship and programs and you know, like in orchestral world, it's taking an audition. Okay. And the university world, it's winning a job. It's, you know, it's going through that whole process and winning that job. That still has to hold true in order to make sure that our students are getting the best curriculum and information that they possibly can. Now, we could all have arguments of like, was that the best person who won the audition? Was that the best person who got hired by the university? We could have that, okay? But so-and-so and so-and-so who's really good at just kind of like greasing the social media wheels to make them look like they have this whatever, and all it is just a whatever. I need to make sure that when I'm recruiting and I'm talking to parents and there's a huge price differential, I'm able to talk with parents and say, listen, this is what you're getting when you come here. This is the product that you're getting. Not trying to sell anybody anything. You go wherever you want. You know, it's, if you don't like the product we have, or you feel that you would be better fit someplace else, awesome. But we need to make sure that just because everything is online right now, it doesn't cheapen our overall product. We need to make it accessible, but who's telling you what information is still massively important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
it's false visibility, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. That's super fair. And
visibility in general, and how much of yourself you're going to offer for these online formats, depending on how long we're going to be in this situation.
Exactly. And I'm not saying, because there are some online formats out there that are, you know, they're incredibly great people, doing some incredibly great things. What I guess I'm saying, like thinking, it's like, okay, then what's the difference between that and then somebody who just wants to start something? They're not as qualified as those people, but because I see the online thing as sort of a lack of, it excuses us. Yeah, it excuses us from the 15 years of people looking at us and saying, no. But you need that.
Yeah.
I needed that. I still need that. You know, you guys need that. You know, John still needs that. It's like but for somebody to just say, you know what, I'm just going to hop online, I'm going to do my own thing. And then I'm going to start, then I should be competitive for like big university jobs. It's like, I don't really see that, you know, and I, you know, like I played snare drum this morning for 2 hours. I don't have anything in snare drum coming up, you know, and nothing at all. I'm not playing with the band. I'm teaching some of it, but like, why am I doing it? I'm doing it to keep my hands fresh. If you now take that to the next level, well, I'm going to do a disc. Well, why are you going to make a disc? Well, I'm going to make a disc because it's going to add to my general pot of productivity. Okay, then what's the next thing you're going to do? Well, I'm going to program this chamber series. Why? I don't know. I'm going to do it to get people together to play music that I love. Yeah. And then you do that to an exhaustive factor. And then the next thing you know, you're Doug Perkins and you win that job at University of Michigan.
Yep.
You know, it's like there's no... I've heard it by social scientists that they say it's called skill stacking, that you take all of these really random skills that only you could do and you put them on top of one another. And the next thing happens that you're the most unique you that's out there. Yep. You didn't know what you were doing when you were building it, but you were building it. You didn't expect a cheap sort of like roundabout way. So I know I'm taking this in a very weird direction, maybe, but
no, it's great.
It all goes back to the masterclass that you brought up. This book, actually, got it from the library.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, that's a great one. And another one I would recommend is David Epstein. David Epstein is the author.
Right.
Range.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were discussing this past summer, I think.
Oh, okay, good. See, yeah, and thank you for reminding me. But that's another one, and there's another author podcaster, Rick Roll, not Rich Roll, but Rick Roll, true name, and he's like a like this crazy ultra triathlete, but he used to be a lawyer, and like now anyway. So, but they talk about this of just that when you look at a life's experience, you end up being so qualified for what it is that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And what I hope with our curriculum is that it keeps the qualified voices in the forefront, as opposed to thinking that anybody with a microphone and an internet connection is now qualified.
Yeah, I mean, at this day and age, like anybody can just make graphics. Anybody can have a website. Anybody,
Yeah.
It's what the information you're putting out within those things is the most important thing.
Content.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And also let me also maybe clarify this a little bit. I'm not belittling the process of skill stacking, of becoming qualified, because I still don't feel qualified. Literally, it's like I'm waiting for everybody to just realize that I'm a fraud. I mean, it's just like this is, and that just never goes away. It actually gets more concentrated the older I get, because you have more, you're juggling more. Your pots are in more. Adam Grant actually said when your road is wider, it's hard to cover that whole road.
Yep.
And it's true in what we do. I just want a person who understands the magnitude of that whole road teaching. And then going back on curriculum and using what they've learned and now what they've developed to now push it forward. One person who I think is doing this brilliantly is Gene Kaczynski. I think he has a proper place in just somebody who's done nothing but work really hard. He's a slammin' player. He's a great educator. He's a great composer. He's making proper contributions.
Yep.
And he wasn't like ringing the "Hey, look at me" bell 15 years ago. He was too busy working, and I relate with that. So I see somebody like that of being, a proper messenger of our curriculum.
Yeah. I think Josh Jones as well is another great example of information and, not even like reinventing the wheel, but just contributing more to the wheel that's already been existed.
Yeah. And Josh even has a more difficult job being a person of color, and has even said that one of the reasons why he tapes himself and puts himself on social media so much is that people who look like him aren't doing that in our field.
Exactly.
And he's the forerunner of that.
Yeah.
And on top of the fact that nobody has hands like him. So and his work ethic. So it's like what he's able to accomplish is so completely impressive.
Yeah.
And it's all through hard work. It's through humility and hard work. So I don't know, what was the question?
Don't worry
We've gotten there.
I think we've gotten great content from that already.
Yeah.
So
I think it's plug time though. So you just released a new book.
Yes. Talk to us about it.
Not really good at plugs, guys. I'm not really good at plugs.
We can take a water break if you want to. I mean,
no, it's fine. The only copy I've had, because I just sold out, is to a buddy that it's wrapped up. So, but it's I wrote a children's book. Our daughter is 6 years old, and her name is Josephine, and I play the xylophone a lot, so I named the book Josephine the Xylophone Queen. And it's a book. I think the best, some of the best children's books that I've read with her are the ones that actually speak stronger to adults than they do to the children in the content of them. So this is a book that's about a girl who was born, and like all babies, they're the center of attention. And then like all children, as you start to grow up and you have more responsibilities, you're not really the center of attention anymore. You're expected to do more. And kind of maybe along the lines of what we've done and what we're trying to do with Josephine, and she's just been wonderful, is that when you give them a purpose to work in an area that creates love and support, you're able to fail your way to the top in that purpose. And that's what I've done with music, and that's what my wife did with dance, and that's what she's playing. Josephine's playing the piano now. So it's one of these things where we want to show this story that if you get lost in something that you love, it's going to be really hard, and at times it could really get you down.
Yeah.
But there's always that sort of guiding light, and there's always that apple at the end of the road that when you finish that performance, it's like, oh, that was so great to just finish something with such elation that you've worked so hard on. But you worked hard. It wasn't anybody telling you. It's like you decided to work hard, and because of that, you've created this wonderful event. And that's what the book is about. It's about growing, and it's about working hard, and it's about working through adversity, all in 700 words or so. So, but it was fun. It was really cool to see other people work on your idea. That's something that I've never really had before, like an editor and an illustrator say, hey, how about this? Because of the words that you've written. That was a learning experience, and that was super cool. Yeah, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm a little, maybe depressed isn't the right word, but it's the only word I could find, that it's over. Like, it's been 2 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And even more just thinking about it and talking to myself in the car. But now it's done, and I don't know what to do. Do I write another book? Like that's like, it's like, I need something else.
Do you see a sequel on the horizon? Do you see like another avenue of creativity? Maybe not specifically children's books, but another, creative endeavor along those lines of like within the children's realm?
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
That's fine. That's all I need.
Yeah, but it's interesting because my creative process, it can't be forced. You know what I mean? Like, it has to, like, in order for my creative process to actually unfold, my brain has to be completely relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it when I compose a piece. Like, I just compose something and it's going to be coming out soon. And my most productive moments were when I was just listening to literally Ligeti or Kurtog and Ligeti, and just being in the car and just zoning out and listening to piano etudes like the Ligeti and Kurtog, sorry, and just kind of just taking ideas down and then motives and then writing them down and then just like letting it go and just kind of relaxing my mind a little bit. So, but yeah, I hope something in the future would come out, but I'm not forcing it. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
So, Jon, thank you so much for doing this with us. I think I got one more question just to wrap it up. For our students who might be watching that want to consider getting a degree in music, percussion at Mason, hopefully, but wherever they want to go, what advice would you have for students that are thinking about pursuing it?
And I guess before you answer, a curtail, what do you expect from these students after 4 years of undergrad? What do you expect them to know?
Yeah, so kind of a twofold question. You can choose the order.
Like what is, I guess, you don't have to go like, okay, they have to know this on vibraphone, this on marimba, this on black, whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah.
Like big picture thing.
Yeah, just big, like the most important thing after 4 years of undergrad at Mason, in your perspective, what,
So I'll start it with an anecdote.
Cool.
The comic Billy Crystal said a line that I think is just brilliant. And I'm going to get my ages off, but I'm paraphrasing close enough, where he said, when I was 17 years old, my father really didn't know anything. And then when I was 21 years old, my father ended up knowing everything. Boy, my father learned a lot in those 4 years. Brilliant. It's just brilliant. So the advice that I would give to any student is to get ready to have all of your walls torn down and to be prepared to grow so much more because of it. through hard work, through relationships, of course, through repertoire, through emotion. But the greatest gift that I feel a 4-year school could give us is the opportunity to expand our world. Our individual world starts to become bigger, and the repertoire that we play and the people that we meet end up being lifelong friends because of our work ethic and our dedication and our sincerity. And I would say to anybody coming in, get ready to have your world changed for the better.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Thanks for doing this, guys.
Of course.
No,
Yeah.
thank
Thank you so much for taking time to do
Really
this.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
guys. Well, cool. Be well.
You too.
We will.
Yeah. We'll
Hope
be
to see you guys in person someday.
Hope so. One of these days.
soon. Yeah. Are you still teaching lessons in person?
Oh yeah, this Monday was actually the first I didn't, and it was more of a family thing, like just scheduling between Meg and I. But no, yeah, but it's 8 to 10 Monday mornings. So if you're not hanging around that, yeah,
But what time are you waking up on Monday? It's like 4 a.m.
I'm an early riser as it is. But yeah, I leave. Yeah, yeah. So well,
Nice.
cool. So good to see you guys.
Good to see you,
Yeah,
John.
you too. We
Yeah.
really appreciate this. We'll let you know when it's like uploaded on YouTube and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully tomorrow at least we'll have some snippets posted of this. So
Okay.
it'll
Well,
be cool.
thanks for your work on this, guys. Super fun.
No,
Of
we
course.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
Be
John.
well. See you
Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate
Bye.
it.